If you were to ask a senior citizen from an African country what is their most expensive venture they have ever made, they will probably mention a house. So if you place yourself at the receiving end of where most Africans spend their money, you are going to be cashing out very, very big. In my country, Cameroon, people usually complain that they don't have money, but every day you find new houses popping up like mushrooms all over the place. Most Africans construct homes in order to attest a high social status, a kind of symbol of success and prosperity. While this can be argued to be problematic to an extent, it is clearly a huge business opportunity that can transform thousands of people into multi-millionaires. Moreover, Africa is experiencing one of the fastest growing middle class in the world, and as a result, there have been a boom of more than 400% in the demand of commercial real estate across the continent, notably in Nigeria, Kenya, Ghana, South Africa, and Egypt. In this video, we are going to look at machines that are directly related to real estate development in Africa. Most of them are machines that are going to produce construction materials, and as you know, construction materials are things that people don't buy in single units. People usually buy construction materials in bulk. For example, if this microphone was a construction material, you don't walk into a shop when you are constructing and say they should give you one microphone. Usually it's about 10, 20, give me 20. And talking about microphone in terms of real estate, we're talking about bags of cement. We're talking about, instead, it is very rare for somebody who is selling construction materials to actually receive a customer that wants just one thing. So this is a very big advantage to all those who are actually producing construction materials. My name is Asongwe Luis. My mission is to help you attain your financial freedom as fast as possible, and we are starting right now. So the first machine we're going to talk about is not actually a machine that produces construction materials, but a machine that is very well interwoven in the real estate world. We're talking about the plastering machine. But if you're investing in this machine, you're going to make millions for yourself. In most African countries, the cost of plastering a square meter of a surface is about $2. Now, the plastering machine can plaster 60 square meters within an hour. This actually means that this machine can bring in $120 per hour. Now, if you're going to work for 10 hours a day, it means that this machine can actually bring you $1,200 every day that you are out working. Now, we know very well how real estate is very lucrative. Now, imagine when you bring in machines into real estate, you take everything to another level. Now, the good thing about this machine is that it does its work very perfectly. It smoothens the walls like magic. Only few plasterers can actually compete with the level of efficiency of these machines when it comes to finishing. When we talk about competing, we're not talking about how fast they can do the job, because that is another level. There is no competition at that level. We're talking about how beautifully done the work is. So when you buy this machine and set it up in Africa, one of the first advantages you are going to notice very, very fast is that you are going to have little or no competition. Just like you're in a sports car and somebody else is on a bicycle and you want to see who is going to win. There is no match. The efficiency of this machine is literally on steroids. In most countries in Europe, plastering with the hand is already next to extinction. The future is this machine. So if you want one of the first to start it up in Africa, you are going to have an added advantage among any other person. The good thing about this machine is that you don't require any skill. If you are a novice, you can actually operate this machine perfectly and have very perfect results. That's an excellent plasterer that have had experience for tens of years, over dozens of years, will be envying you. So it's an opportunity that you don't want to miss. This is a very easy way to get into construction. If you have ever loved construction, because that's one of the most lucrative sectors in any economy in the world, be it from Japan to South Africa to the US to Europe, that's one of the most lucrative sectors in every part of the world. So the easiest way to get into this sector, especially right now in Africa, is to get through these machines that we're talking about in this video. So for example, in the plastering machine, you can actually get into the sector. You just offer the plastering service. At one moment, you can start scaling. So not only is this machine fast and time saving, it is labor extensive. So if you don't want to do the work yourself, you can actually buy this machine and you recruit one person to carry out these activities and make you millions of dollars. So this machine is also very excellent in making very straight walls and very straight corners. Now, one of the problems that we have in Africa actually is that most plasterers will tell you that they are experts, but when they get to work, you always find these errors. So these machines are machines that have come to change everything. You're not going to be negotiating with a plasterer, for example, that, hey, do this for me like this. I want these walls to be straight. You just give the instructions to the machine and the machine does everything for you. So first of all, you're going to outshine everybody in the field by not only your speed, but also your efficiency and also the quality of work that you do. And as I said earlier before, you must not be the one doing out all this work. You can open up an agency just for plastering. So that's what is already going on in other areas of the world. Like, for example, in Europe and the US, people have businesses just for plastering. That is, you open up an agency that you offer only plastering services. But in Africa, you can go a mile. When you start offering this kind of services, you'll be surprised that many people will be contacting you. And you also discover that if people are contacting you to carry out plastering services for your future projects, you can also propose to them that you can construct from scratch. In that way, you're going to recruit the right labor and the right engineers to start building from scratch, and you carry on with your plastering. So the plastering service is a very good way to get into the real estate sector and be a major player. Now, the next machine we're going to talk about is a nail making machine. Now, this is actually the production of construction material. We've talked about plastering. You've seen how lucrative plastering can be. Now we're talking about the production of construction materials. I ever told you one of the biggest advantage if you place yourself in the real estate sector, if you place yourself in the construction sector, you are going to be selling not just one unit, single units of materials. You are going to be selling bulk. Like, somebody is going to build his house, he's not going to come in and say that give me 2 grams of nails. He's going to take you packets of nails. No matter how small the house is, I've never seen a house that is constructed with 1 nail. People always buy in bulk. But I told you, you can get into a shop and buy a single microphone. You can get into a shop and buy a single watch. But when you get to a construction shop, you are going to buy in bulk. You are not going to need a bag of cement. You are going to need 100 bags of cement, 200 bags of cement, 1,000 bags of cement. You are going to need 20 cartons of nails, 500 cartons of tiles. And we're talking about one customer. You're just one customer in a shop that has many customers in line. So just have an idea of how lucrative this sector is. So let's go back to the nail business. Now, I'm not going to pretend and tell you that the nail business is going to do well in every African country the same rate. No, the nail business is going to do in other countries better than other countries. The first thing that is going to drive the nail business, as I said earlier in this video, is the demand for real estate. And I listed those countries. I talked about Nigeria, Ghana, South Africa, Egypt, Kenya. This is because these countries have experienced a boom in real estate demand. When it comes to nail, it's not only the demand that is going to make it more profitable. What is going to make it more profitable is the availability of raw material. Now, remember, we're talking about construction material. It's not the same as the first case where we had the plastering machine, that you can just buy the plastering machine and you use your normal sand and cement to construct or to plaster, because we're talking about iron deposits. If you look at this map, literally nearly most African countries have iron deposits. Other countries are going to do far more better than others. You can buy this machine, but if you don't have the raw material, you're not going to have the end results. So when we talk about iron ore deposits in Africa, we're going to look at countries like South Africa, Zambia, Zimbabwe, Malawi, Kenya, Cameroon, Gabon, Congo. We also have Nigeria, Ghana, Egypt. Yes, Ghana. So these are countries that are going to do very well in this business. A country like Algeria, for example, is not going to do very well. I cannot encourage somebody from Algeria, for example, to buy this machine. What are you going to be doing with the machine? You're just going to have a nice looking machine and nothing. Now look at this picture. This guy started with one machine, but they discovered that the demand was totally high and they had to go in for dozens of them. So the demand in this business is very, very, very high. The demand is high. As I told you, construction materials are not bought in single units. They are always bought in bulk. It's not that it's not possible to buy them in single units. People buy them in single units, but the majority of people who buy construction materials, they actually buy in bulk. I'm not even talking about wholesalers. I'm talking about people who buy to and use them in their construction sites. A very good advantage of the nail making business is that it falls under the class of businesses that have a very high customer retention rate. Word of mouth recommendations is going to be very high. And we all know word of mouth recommendation is one of the best things you can have in your business. That is advert that is not actually from you. It comes from your customers themselves. When your customers recommend you, you have very high quality customers that come your way when your customers recommend you. So when you want to do business, you have to be very smart to choose what kind of business to do. It's not only doing business, but what kind of business to do. The nail making business has this type of model. Imagine all the iron ore deposits in Africa and we are still importing nails in China. The worst thing is that recently, the quality of nails have dropped. I don't know, maybe in your country, the quality of nails is still high, but from my research, the quality of nails have dropped in nearly every African country. And this is because they export these raw materials to their country in China. They need to manufacture them and ship it back to Africa. All this increases the cost. So what they simply do is that to make more profit, they reduce the quality of the raw material that they put in order to produce the nails. So if we can actually transform this iron ore here into nails, we are going to have higher quality nails. So you setting up these machines in Africa and making up nails in Africa, you are going to, one, have an advantage that you're going to have quality nails and you're going to make more money. Now, nail business is not something like the food business where you say that this nail is like this. Once you can produce good nails that can get into wood, that can get into a substance or a substrate without bending, you are already good to go. That's one of the reasons why it has a very high customer retention rate. Another advantage of the nail making business is that it has a very simple model. Remember we earlier talked about high customer retention rate. And if it has a very high customer retention rate, it means that your income is very predictable. You can actually predict your income. If you have 10 customers, these 10 customers are always going to come to you to buy. It's not like you have changed the taste of your nails. If you make nails that can penetrate and you maintain the quality of your nails, you are going to retain these customers over a very long period of time. And so you can easily predict your income. So this is a very good advantage of you doing the nail business. So just to mention, I want to talk about the machines a little bit for a while. Most of you have written to us, contacted us to get some of these machines. We talked about agro-processing machines in our previous videos. I just want to say that most people who have actually submitted their demand to have these machines should exercise some little bit of patience because the demand for these machines is very high. And we're actually increasing our staff right now so that we can handle the traffic that we're coming in. So if you have written to us and it has made 2 days, 3 days, we have not responded to you, please, we are going to come to you because it's actually a first come, first save. But I also want to say that if you are not serious in getting these machines, you should not also reduce the chances of those who really want to get the machines. We talk about customer service so much on this channel, and I'm going to feel very bad if we talk about customer service and we don't offer customer service to you asking these machines. And one of the reasons why I'm talking about this is that some people just spam our emails, like just keep on sending messages without actually having a very good motive or being very intentional on what they are doing. We give our email for people to reach us on these machines. It's very good for you to reach us if you truly have the intention to go through the process. If at least the money is disturbing, we can understand. But some people just get into our email, spam the email, and it actually gives us a lot of work to actually find those who are actually serious. We have hundreds of mails, if not already thousands of mails that are coming in. It makes it very difficult for us to actually know the people who are actually serious on getting these machines. Now, there are people who are actually serious. We have actually walked many people through already. But I'm just trying to say that if you are actually serious in having these machines and you have actually sent in your mail to us and you have not had a reply, please just be patient because we're going to get to you. So that said, we're going to go to the next machine, which is actually the zinc roof sheet making machine. More than 90% of African homes are made with zinc roof sheets. So you can never be wrong if you get into this business. One advantage of the zinc roof sheets is that it is very durable and can last for about 100 years. More to that, it is fire resistant. Now, how about that? Having a material in your house that is fire resistant. That's one of the big advantages of the zinc roof sheet. In most African countries, the state usually has parastatal companies that are responsible for producing zinc roof sheets for commercial purposes. In Cameroon, for example, we have Alucam. That's why Africa today is here to actually demystify manufacturing. Many people actually thought that only giant companies like Alucam can actually produce zinc roof sheets. Meanwhile, currently, the Chinese have actually scaled down these machines and have made these machines to be more affordable to the public. Just like the nail making business, the zinc making business has a very simple model and also fall under the category of businesses with very high customer retention rates. Now, your customers are going to be those selling construction materials. By producing zinc, you are already a manufacturer. As we earlier said, more than 90% of all African homes use this type of roofing material. It is obvious. As of now, there is not enough capacity to meet the growing demand. That's why the prices of these sheets keep on soaring in the market. So if you invest in this business, you are going to become a millionaire in no time. It's not kind of money-making scheme when I say you are going to make money very fast. It's actually legit and good business. It's actually you adding value to aluminium and making people's lives better. Now, if you find yourself in one of these countries, that is Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda, and now the DR Congo, since it's already a member of the East African community, you are going to respect the East African standards of roofing sheets production, which actually stipulates that you must indicate the thickness of the sheet on the zinc, and you also have to indicate the company that actually produces that zinc. So don't go and start producing while without actually taking note of these details. I agree very much with the East African community because the general public doesn't have a particular way of actually verifying the quality of zinc that goes to the market. So the best way way for them to do so is actually to let manufacturers state the thickness of their sheets, because that is where the trick is. Many manufacturers, they get away with substandard goods by reducing the thickness, and since the customers don't actually know how to differentiate the different thickness of the zinc and actually get the value of their money when they buy these products. The other machine we're going to talk about is the flexible corrugated pipe making machine. This product is a product that many people don't actually know. This is a product that many people don't actually pay attention to, but this particular product can make you millions. Now, many people don't actually know about this product. They always say the most expensive things in construction are those things that we don't see, like the iron rod and things like this. These are very expensive. These pipes are very expensive. They are pipes that are used to wire the house. I happen to live near a shop that sells construction materials, and every after 2 to 3 days, a full loaded truck of flexible corrugated pipes are delivered to that shop. That made me understand that this pipe has a lot of importance when it comes to construction. There is no way we can construct your building without using this. I mean, when I talk about using this, I mean rolls of this. The amount of cables that you use to wire your house is the equivalent amount of these corrugated pipes that you use in your house, because every electric cable in your house have to go through this. And this is the kind of business that is like hiding. People don't really see it. They don't really pay attention to it. And the few people who are inside are making millions of dollars. I'm not talking about millions of CFA or millions of Naira. I'm talking about millions of dollars. People are making millions of dollars in Africa with these products. Remember, Africa today is here to demystify manufacturing and entrepreneurship in Africa. The next machine we're going to talk about is the concrete mixer. Now, many people are scared of construction because of the hard labor that is involved in construction. But as you can see from the machines that I've been talking about, labor is almost getting to zero. With the concrete mixing machine, we're talking about near zero labor in the construction world. In order to appreciate this machine, you need to compare it with the labor-intensive process of mixing concrete, usually done by laborers. Now, concrete is actually a very thick, dense paste that is, first of all, very heavy and difficult to mix. Because of this, laborers working in the construction site don't usually take the time to give a very good mixture to the concrete. And this actually translates to poor results during construction. So the concrete mixing machine comes to solve this problem. Most often, structures usually crumble because they have a very poor mixture. So you investing in this machine is actually an indicator that you are out for quality. You can actually create a business model with this machine. You can actually buy this machine and decide to rent the machine out. The concrete machine is usually rented out for $200 per day. So imagine you sit at the comfort of your home and you make $200 a day, knowing that your machine is doing something. And this machine is very robust. 98% of all the parts are made up of very hard steel. So it's a very robust machine. You can actually buy this machine and you rent it out and you stay in the comfort of your home. This is some form of passive income. Many people don't know that they can actually generate passive income around the real estate sector. When you construct a house and people are renting, that's passive income. But during the construction phase, you can actually create passive income with these machines. You can actually open an agency and you keep renting these machines if you don't want to do construction. And I would recommend, if you are buying the plaster machine, it's also good to buy the concrete machine so that you do your work seamlessly. You mix the structure and you transfer the mixture into your plastering machine that does the work for you. Next machine we're going to talk about is the brick making machine. So we have a problem in Africa right now where people actually sell substandard bricks. Why this is a problem? This is a very big opportunity. Remember, you can only make money when there is a problem. If there is no problem, you are not making no money. You are not making money, or you can make only small amount of money. But when there is a problem, you can make lots of money. Some years ago, after one of my friends had finished his construction, he told me I should never buy bricks. Anyway, at that time, we had no option. The only option we had were actually substandard bricks. Either you buy substandard bricks or you produce your own bricks. That means you hire people to produce your own bricks at your site under your supervision. So he told me it's better for me to hire people to produce my own bricks at my construction site under my supervision. That's the only way. It is much more expensive, but it is far more better. Because when he started his construction, he actually thought that he's going to save more money by buying cheap substandard bricks. Just buying those bricks they put and cover with plaster and everything, and the house is already done. He thought that was the best way, but that way is not the right way to do, because you end up spending double. Because each brick that gets broken has to be replaced. And imagine, we're talking about the bricks costing $50 and it has to be replaced. That makes $1 instead of $50. So the mechanism of the brick making machine ensures that quality is assured. What it actually does is that it uses pressure to compress your material and also vibrate it so that it becomes as compact as possible. And results with the brick making machine are very impressive. That is, when you throw a brick that is made from a brick making machine from a far distance, it actually falls and rolls over without actually cracking. And that's how solid your house is going to be. So if you invest in this machine, you're going to make lots of money. The good thing about this thing is that somebody's not going to come and order 200 bricks. or 300 bricks or 1,000 bricks. When somebody wants to construct a normal size house, the person will start talking about 3,000 to 4,000 bricks. Remember, this is real estate and they have their peculiarity. Look very well. All the machines I've been talking about in this video, when you have an order, it's not an order for 1 unit of something. You're not going to be selling 2 bricks or 10 bricks or 100 bricks. It's difficult. You might never sell 100 bricks. When you buy these machines, you never sell 500 bricks. You start selling from 1,000 bricks, because when somebody wants to construct a house, it's not going to take this percentage of bricks from this place and another percentage from this of bricks from another dealer. It's going to take all the bricks from you. So you're going to be supplying thousands of bricks per order. And this machine can produce thousands of bricks per day. This actually means that within a day, you can actually produce and supply 2 different clients. Just imagine how lucrative this business can be. And I told you, you don't need any skill. So the poll of the day was, which is the most populated region in Africa? Now there are several options. You have Central Africa, Eastern Africa, Western Africa, and Northern Africa. Now, by the time I was making this video, Western Africa had 74%, that is, Western Africa was actually winning. And it's very logical for many people to choose Western Africa. Why? Because the most populated country in Africa, which is Nigeria, is found in Western Africa. But if you choose that answer, you would be totally wrong, because the answer goes actually to Eastern Africa. Eastern Africa is the most populated. And I want to give a shout out to, I can't really read her name here because it is like, to Promise Bethel 2,226. That is why Nigeria is very populated. The countries around Nigeria are less populated, and this makes the region to have a low population. So East Africa is the most populated region in Africa. Now we are putting these messages out because we found out that many people don't really know much about Africa, and it's our duty that people should know much about Africa. I want to thank you very much for always participating in the polls, because your participation helps us, or helps propagate this information throughout the world, so that many other people should participate and actually understand what is going on in Africa. And so more and more people are going to find out certain facts about Africa that they didn't know, which is very important. Thanks for watching. Before I go, I want to thank our supporters. They are doing a very wonderful job. They're supporting us. On Saturday, Anyota Motobo, they are our first member. I want to seize this opportunity to say that we have officially launched our membership. Membership is going to help us produce more quality content, and also to reach out to more people around Africa and make Africa great. Why not? About 40 years ago, the Chinese were one of the poorest places in the world, and they embarked on the process of encouraging entrepreneurship in China, and today China is one of the most powerful countries in the world. We believe that Africa, even though it's not a country, they are a people. We believe that Africa is going to be one of the powerful regions in the world if only we work together. So thank you very much. I'll see you in my next video.